Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel Mainframe Girls. As a series of IDCAMS videos are going on, so this is the next video on IDCAMS, which is export disconnect. I'll tell you when, why, where, and what are the parameters of export disconnect, and with some examples in this video. So, what is export disconnect? So it is mostly used for a catalog. Okay, so the word disconnect itself tells you that it is breaking some connection between two of the data sets, right? So here we are breaking a disconnection or connection between two catalogs. It could be a user catalog or a master catalog, whatever the catalogs we are, like suppose when do we run export disconnect and what is it? Just it's a command which is used to disconnect the user catalog. Just imagine that there is a user catalog and you want to disconnect it from a master catalog. So what do? So you submit this job or this command which will break this connection between master catalog and user catalog. Or sometimes if you want some aliases to be removed and permanently some aliases to be removed from that user catalog, at that time also you submit this export disconnect. Okay, export have these three. As export separately is an IDCAMS command which you do, but export disconnect is separately taken as a required parameter to disconnect the catalogs from the master catalog or the user catalog. These are the three parameters which are there in the export disconnect. User cat name, disconnect is the important parameter which you will be using, and a catalog name if you want the data set. If you want your user cat name to be removed from a particular catalog, means not from master catalog. As I told you, if you remember previously in videos, all the catalogs are mapped to a single catalog called as master catalog. Okay, so all the user catalogs, whatever user catalogs are there in the systems, are mapped to a master catalog. So when you submit this job without a catalog name, that that whatever user cat name you have given here, it will be disconnected directly from a master catalog. But if you want this particular user cat name to be disconnected from some particular user catalog, then you have to give a catalog name here. I'll explain you why and when we do this export disconnect and explain you in detail what does this parameters are. So when and why and when you run the export disconnect. There are many times, there are very important times where you run this export disconnect. The first time is merging a catalog. Okay. So what is this merging a catalog? You will be merging two catalogs into one catalog. At that time, you will be running this export disconnect. Just think that if the catalog is shared between the LPARs. Suppose if this is one of the catalog and this is another catalog which you are merging these two catalogs. So you will be copying all the entries of this, all the alias entries of this catalog to the other catalog. Okay, then you have to delete this user catalog. So before deleting, you have to check if this have entries in all other systems. If it is, if suppose it's an if it is a system of three LPARs, if this is plex of three LPARs, and if it is connected to three of them, and then you have to run an export disconnect to remove the connection between them and delete this user catalog. After merging, like after copying all the details to a one single data set, user catalog, then you have to run an export disconnect first, then you have to delete this user catalog. Then only then you can delete that particular user catalog. What then you can you have to do it when you are doing a resize of a catalog if the master catalog is not shared between the LPARs. The thing is that sometimes you will be having a different master catalog. Suppose think this is a sysplex of three systems and they have a single user catalog and which entry is mapped to all of them, and you want to resize this particular user catalog, At that time, if you are running this on a Plex 1, you have to run a disconnect on this system and this system to remove that connection and do a resize in this particular system. And after this, again you can run an import connect to establish a connection back. Okay, so this is the time when you run an export disconnect to release the connection between the other systems when they have a different master catalog. And the next time is moving catalog to a different volume if the master catalog is not shared between the LPARs. This is also the same condition if it has a different LPAR connections, and if you are moving this this user catalog to a different volume, at that time it's recommended to delete the connection between the other LPARs and move it again, establish a connection with an import connect. Okay, when you're moving, because these are three different master catalogs and it is in different in each of the system, it will be in a different way, it will be defined in a different, the entries will be different. So just avoid a clash between all of them. It's recommended to run a export disconnect first, and in the system in which you are submitting the job, you can keep it in a connection. But in another systems, if the master catalogs are different master catalogs, you have to run this export disconnect. Moving catalog to a different system. Suppose if you are moving catalog to a different system and the old system does not need this catalog anymore. At that time, if you run export disconnect to that particular system, it will automatically just do the disconnection to the master catalog, and master catalog will never know that there is a user catalog in this name if you are running a export disconnect. Delete the catalog entry permanently to remove the connector in a master catalog or if the catalog is shared with the other systems. So if you want, if suppose this is a master catalog and this is a user catalog and you want the entry to be deleted in the master catalog permanently, then you have to run export disconnect. If you run export disconnect, the entry in the master catalog will be deleted permanently. And another thing, deleting all aliases from the catalog. Suppose you have a request saying that if you want all the aliases, whatever the aliases are mapped to this particular user catalog has to be deleted, then you can run an export disconnect. After disconnecting from a master catalog, user catalog will release all the aliases and it will be an empty user catalog. And if you run an import connect again, the data sets, whatever the aliases previously were there, they will be gone. They won't be there. Full catalog recovery procedure. So if suppose something happened to your catalog and you are doing a recovery of your catalog at that time you will be getting the data from the backup, but before that you have to disconnect your catalog from the master catalog. You have to redefine it as a fresh catalog. So before that you have to do a disconnect and make a normal obsolete catalog and delete it and redefine it and take the data from the backup. So these are the most important times, and dealing with a catalog is a very important. And there's another task called splitting of catalogs. Suppose if you are splitting a single catalog into two different types, into two different systems. So there are different types of catalog works, are very important works which you'll be doing, and this export disconnect plays a very crucial role while doing this important tasks with catalog. Coming to the parameters, there are only three parameters here, and they are very important in the normal parameters. Normally you have to specify export, which is a required parameter you will be giving. After that, the data set or the user catalog which you wanted to be disconnected. So you will be giving the user cat name which has to be disconnected. So the first parameter will be export, and the very next parameter will be the catalog name which you want. It can be some XYZ, ICFCAT or any of the things. If the user catalog is SMS managed, normally user catalogs will be defined in a non-SMS volumes. Okay, but if it is SMS managed, its volume serial is indicated at the time of disconnect. Okay, so just to remember, this volume serial is given, means if it's SMS managed, the volume serial will be indicated at the time of disconnect. You have to note that, or in the job you submitted, that will be present. But if you are planning to do a import connect again to that particular user catalog, you need that volume serial number to do that import connect. Okay, so the first parameter, as I told you, export will be there, a required parameter. Then you will be putting the dataset name which you want to be removed. And here comes, normally these two steps are, this two with a disconnect is enough to do a disconnect of that particular user catalog to a master catalog. If you want it to be removed from a master catalog, export, disconnect, and the catalog name are enough. But if you want that catalog to be removed from some other catalog, some particular name, then comes this catalog parameter, where you have, this is an optional parameter, because normally you can directly remove from a master catalog. But if you want your data, your catalog to be removed from some another catalog, at that time you specify this catalog parameter and give that particular cat name here. So the name of the user catalog from which a user catalog connector entry and associated alias entries are to be deleted. So if you want to delete the connection between two user catalogs, at that time you mention this catalog name and that particular user catalog name here. The catalog parameter is required when you want to direct the catalog's entry to a particular catalog other than the current master catalog on the system you are running this command on. Okay, so this is the, normally three parameters are enough. One is export, disconnect, user cat name if you are removing from master catalog. But if you are removing from some another user catalog, then you have to specify that user catalog name here, catalog, and that user catalog name here. Inside the catalog name, as I told you, you can specify a catalog name or alias name also. If you are specifying a catalog name or the alias name, both will be resolved to be a catalog. Example, suppose if abcd is an alias which relates to this particular user catalog, okay, then specifying either of abcd or this user catalog can be disconnected from this user catalog. So in that bracket, in catalog bracket, if you are giving even the alias or that particular user catalog name, that will be disconnected. And the third parameter which I told you, disconnect, which is must, which is another important parameter, specifies that user catalog to be disconnected. If you are not specifying disconnect, it will not do a disconnect of that particular parameter. So disconnect is needed. The connector entry of the user catalog is deleted from the master catalog. Also, user catalog's aliases are deleted. As I told you, all the alias entries will be deleted from the master catalog when you specify this keyword and when you are removing the connection between a user catalog and a master catalog. If a export is coded to remove a user catalog connector entry, disconnect is a required parameter. That's what. If you need an export to be removed, if you want the connection to be removed between two catalogs, disconnect is the particularly a required parameter. As I told you, as an export disconnect displays a volume serial number of a user catalog at the time of the disconnect. So when the disconnect completes, the user catalog means the output will give you a volume serial number. If you are tending to do a import connect again, you may need that volume serial information. I'll be giving you a brief example or brief video on import connect in upcoming videos. So I'll be telling you why this connection is required when you run an export disconnect, why that volume serial is needed for a import connect in that particular video. Now I'll show you some examples in the video. So this is the video. This is the example in which you are disconnecting between a user catalog and another user catalog, not from a master catalog. Okay, this is the user catalog name rbluccat, which you are using a disconnect parameter and you are removing from a this particular user. So here you are breaking the connection between these two user catalogs. So as I told you, when you are using a user catalog, another catalog, you need this parameter to be there. So this is an IDCAMS job where you have to give an export, a particular import required parameter and disconnect import required parameter, a user catalog which you want to be removed, a required parameter, and this is an optional parameter, but you want to be removed from this particular catalog, so you have to mention this parameter also. So this is the basic job which you will be running. Basic IDCAMS export disconnect job. This is IDCAMS, this is export, this is disconnect, and this is a user catalog which you want to be removed from the master catalog. So if you want to remove the connection between master catalog and the user catalog, you run a basic disconnect. IDCAMS export disconnect. Export disconnect will just remove this connection. We learned about export connect. So now I'll be telling you what is import connect, when do we do a import connect, and what are the parameters of import connect, and a small example with an import connect. Okay, so what is an import connect? Normally, import is the IDCAMS job in which import connect is a part of import parameter. So what does this import connect do? The main work of this is it will connect a user catalog to a master catalog. Okay, in the last video I told you about export connect, which will remove the connection between a user catalog and a master catalog, and import connect will give you the connection, means will add a connection between a user catalog and a master catalog. Okay, so why do we need this import connect? I'll tell you. Like there are many times or when you play with a catalog. So there are some place when you create a new catalog. At that time, you need this connection should be. This is called a connector job. Import connect is a connector job. Let's see the parameters. We have connect, obviously, objects. In objects, you have to keep the catalog name which you want to get connected. Device type and volume is mandatory in import connect. And if these are optional parameters, alias, vol catalog, and catalog, these will be needed if you are connecting between two user catalogs or a tape catalog, like that, if it isn't directly to a master catalog. Why and when import connect? So first thing is a basic thing. If you're doing a recovery of a catalog to a different volume serial. When suppose thing previously your catalog was there in one volume, okay, but when you're doing a recovery, you are doing it in a different volume. At that time, there should be a connection established to the master catalog. Master catalog should know that this catalog is no longer staying in this volume. It is staying in a different volume. So at that time, you have to run this import connect with that volume parameter. Then the connector will be established between master catalog and the user catalog. If the catalog is shared with the systems that do not share the master catalog. Suppose you are doing a reorg or a resize of the master catalog. Okay, but you suppose there are 3 to 4 systems. There is a sysplex systems. Okay, at that time what happens, if you are running a job on a single system, after that in the remaining 3 systems you have to run this import connect for that information to be mapped to that particular master catalog. If they do not share the same master catalog, okay, if the master catalog is different in that systems, and this is same if you're moving a catalog to a different volume, you have to run a you have to run this connector job. If you're moving a catalog to a different system, in that system, that this will be a new job, right? So new catalog, right? So you have to run this import connect for that system to be knowing that this catalog has been in that system. And the main basic thing is defining a new catalog. Suppose you have defined a new user catalog, obviously you have to connect that to the master catalog. In all the systems you have to run this import connect for this connection to made between user catalog and a master catalog. Sometimes there will be a cf repair command which you will be giving for a rls, means if there is a record level sharing will be there in the catalog, if that thing has to be set. Okay, at that time, if suppose there is an error something, you will be issuing the cf repair command. So before that, you have to do this import connect in all the systems. Make sure that in all the systems, the your user catalog is connected to the master catalog, then only you can issue the cf repair command. Okay, coming to the parameters. The main parameter, as I told you, import is the IDCAMS job, but the connect parameter is the main parameter which you have to use to connect your user catalog to a master catalog or any other catalog. So user catalog or the volume catalog is to be connected to the master catalog in the receiving system. So this parameter is must. Okay, the next comes this objects parameter, the place where you will be putting your catalog name here. So you have to put objects and you will be giving your catalog name here. Then device type, if you are specialized with esoterics, that word is like, if it's a dash D, you will be giving 3390. And if it is tape, you have to give a tape or a CART card. This esoterics is something a group of devices will be kept in with a single name. When you give 3390, it means that all the DASD, all the disk volumes will be there in 3390. If you give tape as a device type, it means all that tape files will be there, like that. Okay, and this volume should be must. You have to know in which user catalog this particular volume is there. Okay, this user catalog is suppose residing in something VVV 321. You have to specify that here for connecting. The master catalog should know your user catalog's volume and device type. After uh, keyword parameters, like we have some optional parameters. Suppose you are connecting some alias to a user catalog. At that time you have to give alias, and other time when you give aliases, suppose, see, sometimes what we do is we simply do a export connect. Okay, export disconnect, and then we do a import connect. And suppose the system has lost some connection. At that time, what happens if you give this alias keyword, alias optional parameter? What happens? All the aliases, whatever they were there before, it will be automatically will be mapped to your user catalog. So whatever aliases were there before, the 3000 or 3500, 2000 aliases were there before, that aliases will be mapped to your user catalog if you keep this alias keyword. Okay, if it is, if it's just better to keep this alias keyword when you're running this import connect. If suppose if there are some alias, they'll be connected. If there are no alias, that it will not affect the job. Okay, if this catalog parameter you use mostly when you are connecting your catalog to a different catalog other than a master catalog. See the name of the catalog into which they define the catalog you are connecting. The parameter is required when you want the direct catalogs entry to a particular catalog other than master catalog. So at that time you specify this catalog parameter. Suppose some of the alias you want that to be mapped to this catalog. And this wall catalog, that a volume catalogs to be correct means you have to wall cat means so VVD wall cat will be there, right? VCAT, and that things you have to connect to that particular catalog. At that time you give this wall catalog. See, when you use import connect for a tape volume catalog, you need to specify this wall catalog. Okay, so there are these parameters are optional parameters, but it is you use these parameters according to the requirement you get. Okay, this is an example job card IDCAMS. You know that import is the keyword, which import is the main word which you are doing, and you the main word, the next word you should not forget, connect. Connect is there, so you are connecting a catalog to a master catalog or any other catalog. Next, what we see, this is objects is a parameter in which you have to specify all your user catalog, your volume, your device type, and everything. So this is the user catalog which you have to connect to a master catalog. And this is the volume where you have to put your 6 digits volume serial number. Then the device type is 3390. Mostly you will be using 3390. The connect parameter and the catalog. Here it's not mandatory if you are connecting to a master catalog. There is no mandatory for this this parameter to be specified. You can specify only these parameters. It will directly connect to the master catalog, but you can specify also, it will not affect anything. So if you specify catalog keyword and this word, it means this catalog This catalog is getting connected to this catalog with this parameter, and volume is must. So please kindly let us know if you have any doubts or if you want any depth topic or any other topic to be explained. Let us know your questions or everything. We are making shorts, we are replying to the comments, and we are making videos according to the comments we are getting. So please support us. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.